Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome on in to our Valley News Now desk on this Thursday morning. We got a little bit of a hazy start to our day here in the Valley. You can see that here on our Corwin Auto Skycam that I got pulled up for you. Now, we will break this down in just a minute here, but one more time, thank you so much again for joining us. My name is Alex Larson. So we are going to take a check of our website right now just to give you a little bit of a better idea of what's going on outside. I know a lot of people got outside plans coming up this weekend and are curious to know what we got in store. I will pull this up for you, share my screen with you here. We are on the Valley News Live homepage here. We're going to hop on over to the weather tab. And Summer just updating this for us a little bit ago. Hazy with showers, thunder this afternoon. Okay, but that's Thursday. Let's go head on down. Looks like we got rain coming around the noon hour, and that's going to continue on throughout the day. We'll load those next 12 hours. Check that out. Still going, but it looks like as we click on this 11-day planner, going to clear up a little bit for Friday. It'll only be 68 and a little breezy, but better than rain, I guess. Then we're heading on into the weekend. Looks like we got a chance of showers on Saturday and Sunday as we take on Father's Day. High of 76 on Father's Day. So Summer was saying this morning, it shouldn't be all day. So if you do have plans outside, don't cancel them completely. There is some light at the end of the tunnel. So I'm going to move on with our news portion of this segment for you here. A Grand Forks County couple has been charged with child neglect after their 1-year-old tested positive for cocaine and marijuana. According to court documents, the charges against Eric and Samantha Graham come after a home visit from the Grand Forks County Human Service Zone back in February. So during that visit, officials became concerned with the physical well-being of the Graham's 6 kids who were eventually removed from that home. Court documents say the kids were drug tested, 2 of them, a 1-year-old and a 10-year-old, both testing positive for marijuana. The 1-year-old also testing positive for cocaine. You can read much more about this story. We've got it over on our website, valleynewslive.com. And an Otter Tail County grandmother who left an infant in a ditch has now been sentenced. Anastasia Vaughn was sentenced to 20 days community service and 2 years supervised probation on child endangerment charges. Now, she was arrested back in October after someone called police and said they found a baby laying in the ditch and saw Vaughn running from the scene. Police add she was intoxicated at that time as well. And a St. Michael man's been sentenced after pleading guilty to involuntary manslaughter back in March. According to a release from the DOJ, back in February of 2022, Ryan Guy was driving a vehicle on the Spirit Lake Reservation while intoxicated. That's when he rolled his vehicle. Passenger in that vehicle died as a result of their injuries sustained in the crash. Guy's going to spend 63 months in federal prison, followed by 3 years of supervised release. He was also ordered to pay $2,000 in restitution. And 2 men are now facing felony charges after state troopers say they found an explosive device in their vehicle on I-29 yesterday. I'm going to pull up this video here. So, Highway Patrol says they made a traffic stop just before 9 a.m. yesterday, pulling over 41-year-old Gabriel Messmer and his passenger 42-year-old Christopher Ringsrud Noels near the Thompson exit for illegal window tint. During a search of that vehicle, authorities found a device believed to be an explosive. Grand Forks Bomb Squad was called in, and the interstate was shut down for several hours. Both Messmer and Ringsrud Noels were arrested and are being held at the Grand Forks County Corrections on possession of explosives charges. Now, according to the ATF, we're going to pull this up here. Nearly 40% of agencies in Minnesota do not trace firearms. That, though, is about to change. Starting next month, a new law will require all law enforcement in the state to register for the E-Trace system. That can lead to the origin of a recovered or confiscated gun, in turn leading to more arrests. Clay County told Valley News Live that they have been tracing guns through the E-Trace system for quite some time. Sheriff Mark Empting says it provides an efficient way to link potential crime scenes together. Not necessarily the crime scene you're working in, but potential other crime scenes that have happened in the past. It provides a way to link them together. In 2023, 5,206 firearms were recovered and traced in Minnesota. That's according to the ATF. A line item veto by Governor Kelly Armstrong created unintended results for some state housing programs. Attorney General Drew Wrigley issuing an opinion on the matter yesterday, which could create new precedent on the governor's power. Michael Anthony explains. Let's take a listen.
On May 19th, Governor Kelly Armstrong issued a veto of a portion of Section 7 of Senate Bill 2014, focusing on a $150,000 grant to a Native American-focused organization to fund a homelessness liaison position. That's what he was trying to do, but instead he mistakenly vetoed the entire section, removing $35 million in housing and homelessness projects. On Wednesday, Attorney General Drew Wrigley says Armstrong's veto letter clearly shows that Armstrong meant to veto just the $150,000 and nothing else.
In all of this, what the governor did was a very modest veto exercise of his constitutional authority, and as I say, we've concluded that he did it constitutionally and accurately.
The issue comes down to the copy of the bill sent to the legislature showing the entire section crossed out. It becomes a question of which document is the definitive one. Armstrong argues the message that was printed in the Legislative Journal is correct. In a statement, Armstrong says there's no ambiguity in the veto message, which is what lawmakers should rely upon. The Legislative Council declined to comment, but last week its recommendation was to call a special session since it believes the copy is the precedent.
That can be challenged in a court, of course, but the opinion of the Attorney General has the force of controlling legal precedent until such time as the court would overrule.
The $35 million that Armstrong didn't intend to remove will now move forward as scheduled starting on July 1st. It's not the contents that are concerning, but the concept of the veto itself will be a point of discussion moving forward.
So going forward, the legislature can either let it be or use some of their legislative days to override the veto outright, or take it to the courts to decide who is right on which document determines what gets vetoed. Moving on here, Monday marks the first day of Minnesota State Senator Nicole Mitchell's burglary trial in Becker County. She's accused of breaking into her stepmother's home in Detroit Lakes last April and taking several items, including her dad's ashes. Valley News Team's Bobby Fallett was in the courtroom yesterday morning, setting up for next week. We're going to check in with him here.
Yeah, we just got done testing audio and video over here in the courtroom in Becker County. Plenty of eyes going to be on this trial in the FM area, as well as the entire state of Minnesota. Now, earlier this week, the judge in the burglary trial of Minnesota Senator Nicole Mitchell denied the motion to dismiss one of the two charges that were filed against her. Now, jury selection scheduled to take this place upcoming Monday on June 16th. Mitchell is charged with one count of first-degree burglary, one count of possession of burglary or theft tools, both of which are felony. Now, Mitchell has pled not guilty to these charges. She is accused of breaking into her stepmother's home in Detroit Lakes in April of last year. She said that she went to the home to retrieve items that belonged to her father, who had recently passed away at that time. Again, jury selection scheduled to take place at 8:30. We will bring you all of the news throughout the entire week here in the courtroom. Reporting in Becker County, Bobby Fallett, Valley News Live.
Again, like Bobby was saying, jury selection starts right away Monday morning. We're not really sure how long that's going to take, but we will be in that courtroom for you each and every day next week. Be sure to check right here on Valley News Live, as well as our VNL News app for the latest. Over in West Fargo, residents are concerned after city commissioners proposed new ordinances and licensing structures for short-term rentals. So that includes things like Airbnb and Vrbo. If things do move forward, some of those requirements would be things like parking minimums, as well as occupancy limits. We're going to take a listen here on what one citizen has got to say about this.
The biggest thing is that they want it to be an owner-occupied only. So LLCs, investors, or if it's like your second home or something. And even within that, they only want to allow an owner occupied to use it as a short-term rental for less than half the year.
And for that full story, you can just head on over to valleynewslive.com or check it out on our free VNL News app. We got the full story there for you as well. Now, that's about all I got for you on this Thursday morning. Remember, you can catch us streaming on Facebook, YouTube, as well as over on our live stream as well. And remember, we work hard to keep you updated throughout every single day with everything you need to know to keep you and your family safe. If you want to download that VNL News app, free to download, easy to use, great tool to have, breaking news right at your fingertips. Again, that's all I got for you this morning. If you're heading out the door, I'll see you back here next week. I'm Alex Larson.